Okay, let's see if we can get this done in one hit. 3.5 cups of plain flour. This is for when I make big batches. I usually get 6 to 8 good sized pizzas out of this. Freeze half of them for parties and days when I just get lazy. And you'll see at some point 2 tablespoons of oil. You don't have to sift the flour, most of it comes pre-sifted these days, but I don't know, I like to. It's messy and it's fun. See, 2 tablespoons of oil. I use peanut oil. Most recipes say to use olive oil, but I really can't stand it, so I don't bother. So peanut oil for me. You can use canola, sunflower, rice bran, any oil. Really doesn't matter. I've known people to use melted butter. Okay, in the jug is 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 packet of the instant yeast. Now, if you like the really thick, fluffy pizza base, you can use two sachets of yeast, or sachets as some people call them. But yeah, 2 sachets of yeast if you like the really puffy, thick crust. I like the thinner crust, so I only use the 1 packet of yeast. If you're going to use this for making pizza pockets, you're going to need an egg wash for sealing the pockets. And 1.5 cups warm to hot water. Not too hot, you don't want to kill the yeast. Not too cold, you don't want to not activate it. So cover that up and leave that for 5 or 10 minutes. Here comes the fun bit. The messy bit. Method for mixing their dough, for kneading it. Some people use a machine. I know my brother bought us a gorgeous mixing machine. It's got dough hooks and everything, but I just don't. I'm not ready to give in to machines yet. I'd rather use my hands. Supposed to do this for around 10 minutes. Hello, Sasha. This bit's a bit messy, but you don't want the outside of the dough drying out while you're proving it. So you give it a good oil. You can use the spray oil too if you don't want to get your hands grubby. Okay, now we just cover this up. That gets to sit there for an hour. 45 minutes minimum. I've left it up to 4 hours and it's still been fine. Pizza dough is very forgiving. Now in approximately 45 minutes that will be ready. I use a specific tea towel for wiping oily and other things off my hands, and it gets washed every time I use it, so don't freak out about the tea towel. Now here come the fun. Punch it down a bit. This particular style of pizza is my brother's favourite. It's ham, pineapple and black olives with cheese and the homemade pizza sauce. I use a mixture of tomato paste and HP sauce, but you could use any combination of any sauces you like, or you can just, I don't know, go buy some. I think it comes in tubes now. Okay, now you can put as much or as little of everything on as you want, whatever you want, as usual. I like to take it right out to the edge. Some people like to leave a little bit of the edge bare. Okay, now I like to cover it, leave it sit for about half an hour, let the dough rise a little bit more, but you don't have to. Believe it or not, that was half an hour. Gotta love on-off buttons. And there you go, that was my brother's dinner for a day. So this is a couple of ideas for leftover pizza dough and leftover pizza toppings. Of course, there's a gazillion other things you could do with all these bits. Looky that. Little comfortable pigs in a blanket. I made a dozen of those. They went fast. The kids took one look at them and didn't want to know about the pizza or the other thing I made. Or the cheese puffs for that matter. Straight for the little pigs in a blanket. This was the very last of the pizza dough. You can roll this out or you can press it out, doesn't really matter. This pizza dough, it's forgiving. I'll put all the leftover pizza sauce and pizza toppings, except the cheese, into a bowl and just mix it all in together. You could add the cheese if you want to, but you really don't taste it when you do this with it. Like I said, you can use a rolling pin. I have time. I can sit here all day and just take my time and do everything by hand, but not everyone has that luxury. The other beaut thing about all these things, the pizza and the other things I make, you can freeze them. They will keep for ages in the freezer. I tend to make extras of everything when I do a pizza weekend. I usually make enough to freeze at least half of what I make. So a batch of 8 large pizzas, 4 of them are usually for the freezer. And then when we have a party or extra visitors that we weren't expecting, we've always got something we can just rip out of the freezer, shove it in the oven, and it's ready to go. Hello, Sasha. Yeah, I know this one looks weird, but it's worth it. And you can cut it. You'll see in the end at the end where I cut it. You can cut it any thickness you like. It took about 30 minutes, 35 minutes in a hot oven. And there you go, and they're a great party favourite. Believe me, people love them. And you can put anything in them, doesn't have to be pizza toppings, but this is what I do with leftovers. So, and there you have it, that's my pizza recipe. So, until the next time, bye.